what if the best code you write is actually designed to be deleted? And what if the most powerful AI tools are born from complete accidents? Well, today we're going to dive into the principles that prove this isn't just some crazy theory. It's the actual reality behind one of the most innovative coding tools out there.
So yeah, let's get into it. We're going to explore the core principles behind Claude Code, a tool that is totally rewriting the rules of software development. And we're getting this straight from its creator, Boris Cherny.
All right, so the story of Claude Code. It doesn't start with some grand master plan, no detailed blueprint. Nope. It starts, like so many great inventions do, with a simple need and a complete accident.
And I mean, the speed here is it's incredible. In September 2024, Boris just wanted to learn his own company's API, so he built this little command line app for himself. 2 days later, he shared it, and get this, within just 2 months, its internal growth was so explosive, it went so vertical, that the leadership at Anthropic, they actually thought he was forcing engineers to use it. That's how fast it took off.
And this quote, this really captures that aha moment, It wasn't just about chatting with an AI anymore. Boris realized the model had this fundamental drive. It wanted to use tools to actually interact with the world around it. And that single discovery, that the AI wanted to act, not just talk, that would go on to define the product's entire philosophy.
So, this whole accidental success story points us directly to the first core principle of how Claude Code is built. It's all about uncovering and serving something called latent demand.
Now, Boris thinks this is maybe the single most important idea in product development. And it's pretty simple, really. You're not trying to invent new behaviors for people. Instead, you act like a detective. You just observe. You watch for the clever workarounds and the little hacks your users are already doing, and then you just build those directly into your product as real features.
A perfect example of this, ClaudeMD. So the team noticed that engineers were already writing their own little instruction files in Markdown. They were kind of hacking together their own system just to give the model better context. So what did the Claude Code team do? They just built a feature to make that whole process official and seamless.
And it's the exact same pattern that led to Plan Mode, which is one of the tool's most loved features. Boris just saw users over and over again manually asking the model to, plan this out, but don't write any code yet. He saw that habit, and he built the feature in like 30 minutes on a Sunday night. Just like that, a user workaround becomes a core part of the product.
Okay, let's move on to the second principle. And this one's a lot more counterintuitive. It really requires making a big, bold bet on the future.
The Claude Code team actually has a framed copy of an essay called The Bitter Lesson right there on their wall. It's this constant reminder of a simple, kind of brutal truth. The general AI model will always win in the end. So what do? They don't build for the model's limitations today. They build for the capabilities they're pretty sure are just 6 months around the corner.
And this creates a really interesting trade-off. It's a crucial decision. Do you build what they call scaffolding? A temporary fix that gets you a small, maybe 10 or 20% performance boost right now? Or do you just have the patience to wait? You wait, knowing that the next model update will probably solve the problem for you, basically giving you that feature for free and saving a ton of engineering work.
The result of this philosophy is, well, it's pretty radical. The entire code base is just constantly being rewritten. I mean, how much? Get this. Literally 0% of the Claude code that existed just 6 months ago is still around today. 0. The whole product is basically designed to be thrown away.
So, okay, if the code is constantly being thrown out, what does that mean for the people who are building it? What kind of engineer actually thrives in an environment like that, in this world of constant change and partnership with AI?
While the impact on productivity is it's staggering. To put this in perspective, traditionally, at a huge company like Meta, a 2% annual productivity gain was seen as a huge win. That's like a year's worth of work from hundreds of people. But since Claude Code was released internally at Anthropic, productivity per engineer has shot up by 150%. That's not just an improvement, it's a completely different way of working.
This new world seems to create two clear paths for really effective engineers. On one side, you've got the hyper-specialist. Think of someone like Jared, who's on this personal crusade to kill every single memory leak. He knows that one thing better than anyone. Then, on the other side, you have the hyper-generalist, like Daisy. She uses AI as a force multiplier to work across all these different domains: product, design, user research, you name it.
So what this all means is that the most valuable skills for engineers are changing. It's not just about your raw technical expertise anymore. Now it's about things like adaptability, having a beginner's mindset. It's about thinking like a scientist from first principles. And maybe, most importantly, having the humility to constantly relearn what you think is possible and, admit when you mess up.
Okay, let's wrap this up and boil it all down. What are the key takeaways? What are the principles we can actually use from how Claude Code was built?
So here's the playbook. First, follow that latent demand. Watch your users like a hawk and just build what they're already trying to do. Second, the 6-month rule. Build for the model of tomorrow, not the one you have today. Third, you have to embrace constant rewriting. Just accept that your code is temporary and it's probably going to be replaced by a better model. And finally, you got to think like a scientist. Prioritize that first principles thinking and humility over your old, strongly held opinions.
As AI tools like Claude Code just keep getting better and better, the very definition of what it means to be a builder is changing faster than we ever thought possible. The future might not be about writing code at all. It might be about having the vision and the direction and just the wisdom to know what to ask for in the first place. So that leaves us with a pretty critical question, right? As AI starts to handle 100% of the how, is the most valuable human skill left just being able to figure out the what and the why?